Last year, I purchased the Shimoda Explorer 25-liter version 2. And after going through several iterations and trying out several different camera bags, I was finally satisfied and happy to find a bag that could fit my small 5'4" frame and at the same time also fit and carry all of my insane amounts of camera gear. After watching my review of the Explorer version 2, the owner of Shimoda, Ian, reached out to me and asked if I'd be willing to try out one of their new revamped Action X lines. I quickly emailed him back and agreed, because if you're anything like me, you're just gonna buy the latest and greatest bag anyways and create a miniature camera store in the back of your bedroom. So right now we are on a road trip around Utah. We're out here in Zion National Park today. And I've been using the new Action X30 for the past couple of days, and I wanted to share some of my honest thoughts and opinions on it. Although Shimoda did send me this bag for free, they are not getting to review this video or see its contents and approve or make any changes to this video before it comes out. However, I am a part of Shimoda's affiliate program, so if you are interested in purchasing this bag, stay tuned to the end of the video for instructions on how I can save you a little bit of money. Let's start with some of the newer features. First up is size. In addition to the already existing Action X30, 50 and 70 liter bags, Shimoda is releasing two new sizes, the Action X in the 25 liter and the 40 liter size. Instead of getting my usual smallest bag size, which would be the 25 liter in this case, I decided to go just slightly bigger to the Action X30. And the reason for that was one single reason only, and it's the laptop sleeve. I have grown accustomed to kind of bringing my laptop for several reasons out into the field, whether it be travel, or going over to my girlfriend's house to edit pictures after I do shoot a sunrise. I find it increasingly more and more common that I need to be carrying my laptop alongside my camera gear in the same bag. Now, if you watched my previous video on the Explorer 25 liter, you know you can actually hack the 16-inch MacBook Pros by sliding the laptop into the backside of the camera cube. But that's just a very cumbersome process, and I wanted something much easier. So now I'm able to fit the laptop into the regular front sleeve as well as into the back sleeve very, very comfortably. And while the bigger sizes do look appealing, over the past year, I've been recently trying to just reduce the amount of gear that I carry as much as possible, which is a little funny from a guy who always brings around 3 tripods to do 3 time lapses in video. So just decided to get the Action X30, and let me just quickly show you guys what it looks like on the body here. Let me do a little bit of a modeling demonstration for you guys here. Ugh, plants. Hopefully you guys can see how big the bag looks on the body. Not too bad. When compared to the 25 liter, the 30 liter Action X doesn't actually look that much bigger. It's maybe a few inches taller and a few inches wider. But as you can tell by my quick little demonstration, it does kind of push the limits on what looks to be reasonably sized on my short little Asian man frame. So it does definitely look like I'm going on a big hiking expedition. However, that bigger frame does often come with better benefits in terms of spreading the weight across your back. And I have noticed that as a big difference. I'm carrying more camera gear on this trip because we're doing Milky Way, so I'm carrying an extra lens for Astro and an extra body, but I haven't noticed that my low back has hurt as much. I've noticed most of the pain from carrying the bag is in the shoulders, which I know would be a lot worse if I used something like a different sort of bag, because Shimoda already has these load lifters to take a lot of that shoulder weight off. Honestly, I think I'm just out of shape and not used to carrying this much camera gear, and that's why the shoulders hurt. But usually when I'm shooting with my 25 liter, the thing that hurts the most is the low back, because the frame is smaller, so all the weight is kind of, I guess, more so focused on the upper part of the back, meaning the main hinge point of my back is that low back, which I'm sure if you know me personally, I've had problems with before. But having the bigger size allows the weight of the bag to be spread out a little bit wider, a little bit further alongside the back. Even though I've been carrying more camera gear and doing more hiking on this trip than usual, I haven't noticed that it's given my low back any problems, which is a huge benefit. Shimoda is now offering this bag in a yellow colorway in addition to their black and green colorways. And for you female photographers out there, you get an exclusive blue line, not just for the new Action X bags, but for the existing Explorer line as well. With the introduction and growing popularity of the AirTag, Shimoda has actually included a hidden AirTag pocket in the new Action X series. And I really do appreciate the thought that's been put into this hidden AirTag pocket. It's actually on the back side of this front pocket. I'll throw in some B-roll so that you guys can see exactly where it is. But the benefit of having it be hidden is if somebody steals your bag, if your AirTag is in a common place, like one of the, like stuffed in one of the pockets or one of the sides or whatever, a thief could easily just dig into one of those pockets, find the AirTag, throw it away, and then make off with all the rest of your camera gear. The fact that the AirTag pocket is hidden means that the thief is going to have to work a little bit harder to separate the tracking device from your camera gear. And this is worst case scenario. You know, obviously we want to try and keep the bags as safe as possible. Take it everywhere, don't leave it in any cars, you know, do all that usual stuff. If worse comes to worse, it just makes it that much harder for the thief to locate and discard of the tracking device in the bag. It also just frees up an extra pocket so you can use that pocket for something else without not having to worry about it being scratched up by the AirTag on the inside. Shimoda has also redesigned their water bottle / tripod pockets. These are now detachable and can be thrown onto the waist belt. There's these little clips that clip in and kind of secure the backpack to these water bottle and tripod pockets. And if you really wanted to detach this and put it onto the waist belt, there's this huge hole and this huge pocket that you can slide the waist belt through. And then basically you have a pouch on your waist belt, in addition to the pouches on the side of the bag. And the reason for that is, I guess if you're carrying a water bottle out into the field, but you're also carrying a huge tripod on the side, the huge tripod can just be lashed with the usual straps, while the water bottle can just be thrown onto the hip pocket, which, now that I think about it, is what I should try to do for the rest of this trip. In comparison to their older Action X line, the shoulder strap pockets are bigger. They can now fit the 14 Pro Max, biggest iPhones that can go in there. And then they also took this from the Explorer line, but the expandable pocket on the other side, which you can use to put in like smaller plastic bottles or whatever. Any extra stuff that you need can go into that side. Shimoda also introduced a rain cover pocket on the inside of the bag, which again just frees up extra space on the outside to put more stuff if you needed it. This has to be one of the newer features that I'm most excited about when it comes to this new Action X line in comparison to their old Action X and even the Explorer line, is the redesign of the hip belt. Instead of one continuous piece that goes across the entire back, Shimoda actually split the hip strap, cut it in half, and attached it with one adjustable cinch strap. And this allows the belt to get much tighter on people with smaller waists such as yours truly. I definitely think even if I were to go back to using the Explorer bag, the Explorer 25 liter bag for whatever reason, I'm going to steal the waist strap from the Action X line because it just fits me that much more well and that much more snug, which makes everything much more comfortable. Another thing that Shimoda added onto the Action X line that kind of just catches it up to the Explorer line is that side luggage pass-through pocket or briefcase carry pocket, but really that luggage pass-through pocket is pretty key when traveling. When it comes to traveling with this bag on an airplane, the Action X can actually fit underneath the seat in front of you for most airlines. On my most recent trip, I used Southwest and Hawaiian, and even though it was a tight squeeze, I was able to throw this bag underneath the seat in front of me as my personal item, and I was able to use the overhead bin for my suitcase. In comparison to the updated Explorer version 2 line, you know, Shimoda, of course, always has the adjustable size range when it comes to the shoulder straps. With these load lifters, they have the quick access on the side to your camera. They also just have good weather sealing all over the bag. You know, all the regular Shimoda kind of features. Of course, they're in the new Action X line. But the most important difference from the Explorer line in comparison to the Action X is the addition of the roll top. Each of the roll tops are the same size and expand the bag from its listed capacity, an extra 7 liters. So in this case, Action X30, when fully extended and opened up to this big endless pit of goodness, is now a 37-liter bag. The 25-liter would now become a 32-liter bag, and et cetera, on and on. Another thing that I love about this row top is that there's this front zipper, which allows you to access the top compartment and grab your stuff without having to undo the roll top each time. And another main difference between the Explorer line is the fact that the shoulder straps and the back panel are made out of this more so like kind of like neoprene waterproof material. It still has the same amount of like nice strong padding, but it's not the mesh material that you find on the Explorer bags. So I have noticed the difference, especially when hiking in Death Valley a couple of days ago, where the bag just felt less breathable as usual, and as soon as I took the bag off, everyone was like, oh my god, Spencer's back is super sweaty. So it does make a difference, although minor. Like for me, if I'm going to be hiking out in nature already, I really don't care how sweaty my back gets, so it doesn't really matter. But if that matters to you, then so be it. Another difference between the Explorer and the Action X series is that on the Action X, these back straps are actually built in and sewn in to the bag, while the Explorer, you just have to get the additional accessory straps and attach them to the lashing points on the bag, and then it creates, you know, essentially the same thing. But the one major difference between having the built-in straps is on the Action X, it has this divider that if you needed to carry something big, like a big tripod or 2 big tripods in my case, you could slide one on each side and actually separate them into different sides of the bag, so that it just keeps things much more organized and you're able to secure everything much better. Honestly, I don't use these accessory straps or external straps very often because a lot of times I'm just using tripod straps to the bag, water bottle here, and then maybe like a handheld vlogging tripod or the handheld regular tripod if I'm not hiking very far. But if you're the type of person that needs to carry extra equipment, like, you know, let's say, I don't know, for example, like skis or trekking poles or something like that, then those are going to be super helpful when trying to lash 2 trekking poles to the back of the bag and keeping them separated instead of having one strap for 2 items, if that makes sense. So far, using the Action X30 version 2 has been a really fun and really enjoyable experience. The bigger size just allows it to be that much more comfortable, while the extra size doesn't necessarily mean that I need to carry as much camera gear or more camera gear necessarily if I don't need it. But in a pinch, I can just throw in an extra jacket, extra tripods, and all that kind of stuff. So just having that extra flexibility, I think honestly makes it well worth it for any serious landscape photographer looking for a very serious landscape photography bag. But yeah, make sure you check out the new Action X line on Shimoda's website and all the camera retailers or wherever they sell Shimoda bags. You know, I would purchase it if they didn't gift it to me already. So take that for what it's worth. Like I said before, I'm not being paid by Shimoda to make this video. However, they did gift this bag to me for free in order to make this review. I am a Shimoda media partner, so if you are planning on purchasing this bag or any of the other Shimoda products, you can use the code LEE10 for 10% off your purchase on the Shimoda website. But yeah, we're gonna sign off here. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button, comment below, and subscribe if you aren't already. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.